Hi, welcome back again to Your Dream Walking Angel. I want to thank everybody for all the subscriptions that I've had recently. I'm near 300. Thank you all so much. I want to get quickly into the purpose of this video. It's Lou Rock's dream number two. He was quite the dreamer, and I imagine that he still is. If you're not already subscribed to Lou Rock's channel, please click on the link down below this video that I'll leave for you. Go over there to Mama Rocks and definitely subscribe to Angie, the Green-Eyed Angel, while you're there. I'm going to leave that link in the box down below this video as well. So, getting on to dream number two. It is the most fascinating I ever heard. And like I said, in the previous video, men dream so much differently than women. Rarely do I hear a woman come up with a dream like this. But he had a dream that was very, very disturbing, and he had it when he was a child. And for me to read it with a mother's heart, with a caregiver's heart, with compassion I have in my heart for Lou and his family, Angie and her family, I just love them too. But just getting on to the dream here before I run out of time on this Screencastify light thing. It only gives you 10 minutes of video, which is good because I'm kind of a blabbermouth. I like to talk when I do get a chance to. So here we go. This is the best I can remember because he said it real fast. He said it on a live video, and I didn't write it down this time, so I didn't get all the details. From what I remember, he said he was riding in the car with his cousin's grandmother, and she drove him out to this old house. Right before she got out, she said, "Lou, everything is going to be all right." And she got out on the driver's side, and he got out on the passenger side. And when he did, he noticed something was wrong up in the sky, and the sun was bouncing back and forth all around the sky. And he realized that the lady was dead, and everybody was dead, and even he was dead. And all of these, everything started to change colors. And he looked in the sky and he saw the sun. And the sun, he could see the eyes shining at him. And every time he could hear this voice speak to him, but he couldn't understand the words yet. And he was overcome with all of these emotions, all of this sadness, and all of this elation, all this joy, all at the same time. And every time these words came out of the sun, he would just be overcome with all kinds of feelings. And he woke up and he just had this terrible feeling when he woke up. And this dream has followed him pretty much his whole life. And Lou, if I've missed any details, I'm sorry. When my computer crashed, I lost all of the information I wrote down about what the dream was, and I tried to go back and find the live stream where you said it, and I couldn't find which one. And because it was live stream, perhaps you deleted it. I don't know. So anyway, I want to try to get to a few of the details here. Remember, I'm not a professional, nor do I play one on TV. That's an old bad joke, by the way. Um, this is just how I see it, and this is my interpretation of it. I'm sure there's professionals out there that would criticize me, but I wanted to give you from my heart what I thought it was. You're riding in a car. A car is representative of the journey that you're on in life, but somebody else was driving it who was not even a relative. It was a cousin's grandmother. But in this dream, she was really an angel. She was going to speak a word from God Himself into your life to predict the future. That after all you're about to go through, you were going to be all right, even though it sounded scary. She only went up to an old house, and the house usually represents your personality, your soul, and how you are, and what kind of shape you are in the spirit. And she drove you up to an old house. Well, in this case, I think it was more, that house was more about her than it was about you. She was an older woman. This had to do with her giving you some wisdom from her generation, from her past. The old house was like for old things, and um, oh, advice from elders is very good sometimes because they're speaking from their life experiences where you can learn from their mistakes instead of your own. She was telling you in her experience and influenced by God as a messenger that you were going to be okay. You were, when you got, she got out of the driver's side, which means she got out of your life exactly when she was supposed to. This person was in your life for a period of time, ever who it was used to just encourage you. She got out exactly where she was supposed to and how she was supposed to. And you got out on the passenger side, and that's how you were supposed to get out of that season of your time. But when you did, you saw the sun going back and forth and bouncing around. Now, I think that the sun in this dream referred to your heart. It was a heartbeat that was not beating regular. Something was wrong physically with you as your heart, even as a little kid. And that's not really common. But when you saw that sun going irregularly, I thought it had to do with your heart not beating normal for some reason, whatever that means. That's just what I got out of it. And also, biblically, son can be spoken of like SON, the Son of God, who is Jesus Christ, who's referred to as the light of the world. When you look in the sun, you can't bear it. It burns out your retinas. And even in the Old Testament, there were men who tried to look at God, and they came down from Mount Sinai. That was Moses, and his face was glowing. There were also people that Jesus took to Mount Sinai when he walked the earth that were some of his disciples. And Jesus heard his Father, God, speak to him on that mountain, but other people couldn't discern what God was saying. They heard it like thunder, they heard it like mumbling, but the power was overwhelming. The voice of God will change your life and knock you to your knees, but it will also protect you. You were hearing and acknowledging this power. You knew that you were going through some things, but there was something greater than you out there that was speaking comfort to you. There were angels in your life that was speaking comfort to you and was saying, Lou, you're going to be okay. And when you were looking at the eyes, just know that the eyes of God were always upon you, even as a little kid, and that's why you're still here. Your life has more of a meaning and a purpose than being the good dad and the good son that you already are. You lived because you have a reason to be here on the planet when you did. And when you realized that everybody was dead, and that even you were dead, you didn't die physically at all because you're still here, obviously, which was a dumb thing to say. But I'm sure that at that time in your childhood, it was very scary, and you felt like you could die from what was going on. And you knew that maybe other people and other kids had died from having a bad heart too. And I think that dream was symbolic of what was going on. That the son, which was the Son of God, was watching over you, and God had a word for you that you shall live and not die, and go forth and do glories for God and bring great tribute to Him. And I really am so proud of you for what you did. You survived a lot. You're one of our heroes. We do appreciate you for being here and doing your channel. Much love to you and Mama Rock.